All right, and check this out right now. It's Tennessee's non-conference schedule. Everybody knows I beat up Tennessee's football scheduling, and I say, why don't you schedule more like Rick Barnes? I brag on Rick Barnes' scheduling every year. I think it's fantastic. You got some duds in there, sure, but it's always big names. You're going on cool road trips. You're playing good games for TV. It's great. Okay, well, I got in a conversation with our buddy Will West, and he looked at this schedule. I think it was on air a few months ago. He said, this schedule's trash. Well, here's the thing. You look there on this line, Indiana's exhibition, so that doesn't count. I just put that on there because that's today at 3. It's not going to be part of the deal. Gardner-Webb, yawn. At Louisville. Louisville was 8-24 last year. They're down. It's still at Louisville. I'm interested in that. Montana, don't care. Austin P. and Tyler can go on about his big sky here in a minute. Austin P. I don't care. Virginia, you just changed coaches. They made the NCAA tournament last year. You're going to play them in the Bahamas. You'll play either Baylor or St. John's. Baylor made the tournament last year. Only 3 teams on this schedule are in red. Those are teams that made the tournament. Tennessee Martin, don't care. Syracuse isn't great. It's still Syracuse. Miami of Florida, that's at Madison Square Garden. Okay, I'm into that. At Illinois, that's a good team. That's NCAA tournament. I'm good with that. Western Carolina, MTSU, Norfolk State, those last 3, I do not care. Overall, you got the names, but you don't have the records. So, Bob, what do you think? Half full or half empty? Is this a good schedule or not?
If you're going to give it a grade, I'll give it a B. I don't think it is great, but those are good names. And you also got to remember, when you're going out to play somebody, they also want to have to play you. So did Tennessee get everybody on the schedule they wanted? We don't know, maybe not. But I think it's a fine schedule. Sure, teams are down, but that's going to happen. And as you all talked previously in the other segments, Louisville last year only won 8 games, but their team has transformed since last year. Is that the same 8 winner as it was before? We don't know. So I think it's a fine schedule. I think it's good, not great.
Good schedule, bad schedule, or as Will would say, trash.
Yeah,
hot garbage.
Love Tyler's partner, Will. It is not a trash schedule.
It's not.
Will isn't here to defend himself, but that's what he said a couple months ago, so I'm holding him to it.
We'll tell him in the hallway and on the air. But no, Louisville is an example. They're, in one projection, I saw first team out. So that's an improvement, kind of to Bob's point. And Baylor, projected 2 seed. Well, what if they see them in the Bahamas? So you got St. John's, another projected tournament team. Miami. So there are tournament teams, Illinois as well. So it is not as good, to your point, as it normally is, but it's not trash.
That's my point. I think it's good. I think it's got. Look, I like the names. To me, there's name brand value in this. At Louisville, at Louisville means something. Going there to play at Louisville means something to me. So even though they stink, I will give you a little bit of credit for bringing a big name onto the schedule. If you gave me just more, UNC Asheville, Wagner. Lenore Rhine.
Yep.
I know that Rick Barnes has a special place in his heart for Lenore Rhine, but none of the rest of us care. I just don't like those games. So if you've got Louisville, Virginia, Baylor or St. John's, Syracuse, Miami, Illinois, I'll take that. Tyler, is it good or bad or trash?
I think this is a good schedule. Now, immediately, the reason why people will say maybe, Will, you categorize this as a trash schedule. Tennessee is in a unique year when it comes to the preseason tournaments. They can't do the Maui Invitational each year. They can't do the Battle for Atlantis every year. This is that odd year of the 3 rotating years where they have to go just to the Bahamas and take on Virginia, which they were going to try to implement a new offense. If you remember what Tony Bennett said before his retirement at the end of the NCAA tournament, this is going to have to be a new way of college basketball, and then you see him exiting. Baylor, as you already pointed out, fantastic team from the Big 12, has won a national championship in the last handful of years. And the Johnnies, who, in my opinion, if there was any team that got jobbed out of the NCAA tournament last year, it was what they did in the Big East. They are a tournament caliber team. I'll keep going through this list. Syracuse is still looking to rebound since they lost Jim Boeheim. They're not going to be a good basketball team this year, but they'll challenge you in the challenge. Miami, Florida, they brought back 4 teams from their Final Four team from 2 years ago, but they were often hurt, hence the reason why behind their 15 and 17
Plus,
finish.
it's MSG. You're giving fans another.
There's also that. And, the Illinois team with Brad Underwood, you had to agree to a home and home. They don't have as much firepower, but a reminder, this is a team that will sneak up and bite you. And, by the way.
Didn't they win the Big Ten tournament last year?
They did. They ended up knocking off a great team to be able to do it. That Louisville team, you want to talk about team? That last segment we kept talking about teams who shoot too many threes.
Yeah.
They end up hiring Pat Cauley from the Charleston team. You want to talk about a team who can absolutely throw up threes? You're going to think I'm nuts when I say this, but that back-to-back stretch of Louisville and Montana, you guys are going to look at this. Tennessee fans will look at it and go, let's see what we have this year. That's a nice little doozy between November 9 and 13.
All right, very good, guys. When we come back, with 1 month of the SEC season to go, what stories, teams, players, or coaches have surprised us? In other words, what were we wrong about in July and August? We'll discuss that next. Come on back.